It's actually a coincidence. We met each other during our studies at the HTW in Berlin, and we worked on projects there. And yeah, we became friends, and afterwards we became colleagues on top of that. But that being said, we all are proud that we can represent more women in leading positions and as well as founders. And yeah, so it's a coincidence. And in the future, we would never think of just looking for females to add to the team, but you know, being open to all genders, of course. Well, actually, all of us have taught at university or private schools in game design or UX design or programming. And I think it helped having like this equal share of male and female students at among the students, but also among the professors. And I think it helps just seeing that's a normal thing. So you say, okay, I can do that too, and maybe I will. And yeah, I think it helps a lot, and it's also creates for, at least for me, a better learning environment, not being like singled out just because of your gender or other yeah other things about you. First, we all walked a while our own paths. So each of us was freelancing, like teaching at university also. Sandra built up her own company for VR AR services. Um, and for me, there was also like this. For me, it was always clear that I wanted to be self-employed, that I want to create my own game, and I started working on Duru. And then I talked to Rena because I know she's I just love her art style, and I know she's into drawing cute animals, and that was like perfect fit. Also, we worked before together, and so we teamed up. And Sandra, who knew what we are working on, because again we are friends and were back then as well, she knew what we were working on, and she joined the team a bit later. And we started working part-time on Duru, and with the scholarship that we were granted last year, we managed to go to full-time. So basically Duru is 2 years like part-time side project development, and for a year now full-time. We were funding our business officially in April, and that was basically like the middle of the starting phase of the corona pandemic. So I think nothing could have prepared us for that, because things take way longer. And not only for the funding process, but also for us, because we are used to work in the same room, and having to work around that. Yeah, there were a lot of issues. But for the like legal processes, there was actually quite a good program at the HTW, which was called the Summer School. And the Summer School was basically there to get you prepared when you want to found a startup. It wasn't aimed specifically at game studios and game startups, but it got you started on, okay, what do I need when I found a business? Which business type should I be founding? What do I have to take care of in terms of taxes and legal stuff? And yeah, so that helped out a lot. And also the HTW has the startup Kompetenzzentrum, I think it's called. They also manage the scholarship that we were granted, and they help us out a lot. So there you could go if you have questions about, again, funding and also your business plan and stuff like that. We learned about the the coaching bonus, and we are currently applying for that, and our mentor will be the lovely and amazing Ruth Lemon, and she already talked to us and helped us a lot. And it's for us, having this guidance and having somebody to talk about this from an inside perspective helps a lot. And yeah, it's so this is what we were doing, but it's for now that's the only mentorship we're working towards. And what also helps is the community that we built up during our studies, or more network, because there's quite an active indie game scene in Berlin, and there are a lot of small events or mid-size events where you could go. And of course, in Berlin is also the Berlin Games Week, and it's there are a lot of possibilities. We we basically joined the party a bit late because we always had to hustle between our work that was paid and working on Duru. And once we finally got to the point where we had like a stable payment for working on Duru, then we could join these events, and they were really great. And it hurts a lot that some of them can't just be there right now. Duru is a game about Moritz and depression, in short. So you play in a colorful Moret colony as one of the little Morets who live there. And she's called Tuli, and she develops during the game a depression, which comes in the form of a dark creature who we call Bale. And Bale is there to hinder the player, who also puts dark thoughts into the mind of Tuli. You can always see Tuli's thoughts, and even if she talks, you can see that sometimes there's a disconnect between what she says and what she thinks, because she's too ashamed or too afraid to tell the truth about it. And the motivation behind it was that we think or we like to create games that you can play and be entertained by them, but also take something from them with you that helps you maybe in your everyday life. And our main goal is to show these behavior changes and to create a sensitivity for them. So the player will notice these patterns, because while depression is a very wide-ranged, very difficult illness to pinpoint, there are some behaviors that are for everybody not necessarily the same, but you see some patterns. And we want to help you recognize these patterns and show also behavior that you yourself can do to help somebody who's suffering from depression. So if you see that a friend is closing off, who's distancing themselves, you can question this behavior not as something that they don't want anything to do with you, but that they might have a problem and they need you to reach out to them. And we want to show these behaviors and help people in their everyday lives, but also entertain them. So these are two difficult things to put together. So in the future, we want to keep this approach. Right now, we are kind of in a niche of serious games and entertainment games, and we think that is that this could be beneficial for the players, for the user base. So we don't only want to reach people who are already aware of this problem and want to deal with it, but also basically everybody else who likes this kind of games and gets, well, it's I don't have the right phrase for it, but gets informed by accident, plays a game, and while doing this, they also learn about these issues. And we want to use this approach. Maybe not only for mental illnesses, but also for other serious topics. So we have to see if somebody as a client might be interested in this approach. But for now, the path we are taking is is basically more that of an entertainment game. So but again, we are fairly new to this, so we have to figure out a way that works with this approach that sits right in the middle of these two genres. Our campaign ends on Saturday. We want to use these last days to basically go all in, spread the word to as many people as possible, because that is the main goal, like reaching out to as many people as possible to know about these issues and to be aware of depression, and also being aware of how to help people if they have a friend or family member, and create a better environment for people who are suffering from this illness. And like the ultimate goal is for them to be able to talk sooner about their problems and also reach help sooner, because depression in most forms is a treatable illness, especially if you recognize it early and have a supporting environment that encourages you. So yeah, that's basically now the goal of the Kickstarter. But having the finance goal reached is, we still have to process it. It just happened yesterday. Yeah. Yeah, I think that female developers and game designers create other games than male designers, but I couldn't put my finger on what it is that is different. Maybe it's also maybe it's a thing of experience, because everybody has like different experiences, and getting that into a form of a game just shapes the game. And if you have now if you have like these gender experiences and being in leading positions where you can shape the game and the design, I think that creates many different outcomes and more diversity, and that's that what that's what we need, if we can say it like that. And we figured out that our games also spoke more to a female audience because of the types of game we created. We did some research on it, looked at some studies about it, and the genre that our game Duru combines are also the genres that are more often played by female players. But again, we also have like male players who play our game, so it's a hard question. But I think in general, there are different outcomes if different genders participate in the design process. So basically, there are two kind of basic reactions. So one kind is oh, you created this game and you are all three female, and it's like this um, surprised voice, which isn't meant to be insulting, but can easily come across as this. Like somebody doesn't expect you to be able to create a game, but also being amazed by it. So it's like this. Yeah, it's a weird thing to experience. That somebody is likes what you're doing, but also is surprised that you are able to be doing it. That was one reaction. And the other one was, oh, that's amazing that you're an all-female team. Publisher must love you.